It was a cool spring day in 2025 when something surprising happened in the world of rock music. Two men, who were once part of one of the biggest rock bands in the world, Van Halen, had a long history of disagreements and competition. But now, one of them, Sammy Hagar, had just said something positive about the other, David Lee Roth, and fans everywhere were shocked. Let's rewind a bit. David Lee Roth, known for his wild performances and flashy personality, had just returned to the stage after 5 long years. He performed at the famous M3 Rock Festival in 2025. People had all kinds of things to say about his performance. Some liked it, others were unsure about his singing voice now that he was older. But no one could deny one thing. The show was pure Van Halen. He played the band's greatest hits, and the crowd felt like they had stepped back into the glory days of classic rock. Then came the surprise. Sammy Hagar, another former lead singer of Van Halen, went on Instagram. Of all the places he could have shared his thoughts, he chose social media. He wrote something that no one expected. He said that he was actually happy to see David Lee Roth back on stage. And not just a little happy. He sounded truly sincere. "If I may add my 2 cents here," Sammy Hagar wrote. "Comparing us today or comparing us in the old days really is not what it's all about. It's all about Van Halen, one of the greatest bands, with some of the greatest songs in rock history. We were both involved, and we both had our strengths and weaknesses. I am happy that Dave is out there doing it." He continued, "Like Mikey, that's Michael Anthony, the bassist from Van Halen. He's supporting some of the greatest rock songs in history. Like I said, the fans deserve it, whether it's good or bad. I believe we're both doing our best, and I'm actually happy. Dave is supporting his era, and I will support mine, as well as my solo career and side projects for the rest of my life. Everyone should enjoy what we're both trying to do, keep the music alive. His legacy is important, and so is the music that both Dave and I wrote with Eddie." Eddie Van Halen, who sadly passed away in 2020, was the heart and soul of Van Halen. Both Sammy and David worked with him during different periods of the band's life, and fans still argue over which era was better. But Sammy's message wasn't about winning or being the best. It was about respecting the music and honoring what they all created together. To understand why this message meant so much, we need to look back at their complicated history. In the summer of 2002, something unusual happened. Sammy Hagar and David Lee Roth decided to go on tour together. The name of the tour was a mouthful. The Heavyweight Champs of Rock and Roll, Sammy Hagar and David Lee Roth, Song for Song Tour. They were supposed to co-headline, meaning they would each perform their own sets and take turns being the final act each night. During an appearance on Steve-O's Wild Ride podcast in April 2023, Sammy talked honestly about that tour, and he didn't hold back. "Let me be real with you," he said. At that time, David didn't really have a solo career. I mean, technically he did, but he wasn't selling out shows like I was. I was out there selling out arenas and amphitheaters as Sammy Hagar with my band, the Wabaritas. Sammy Hagar had been a successful solo artist both before and after his time with Van Halen. He had big hits like I Can't Drive 55 and was known for putting on great live shows. That success didn't stop after he left the band. "You can be in the biggest band in the world," Sammy said, "but that doesn't mean you'll have a solo career. Just ask Mick Jagger or Robert Plant." But I did. I had both. But David Lee Roth didn't have the same luck. He had one kind of big album early on after leaving Van Halen, but after that, his solo career didn't take off the way Sammy's did. He was playing in smaller places, Sammy explained. When we went on tour together, he was making around $25,000 a night. I was making $150,000. At first, the tour organizers wanted both artists to make the same amount of money. They said, "You guys are co-headlining, so you'll both make $150,000. I said, "He's never made that much in his life outside of Van Halen." But even though he felt it was unfair, Sammy agreed to it. I said, "I gotta do this," and I bent over backward to make it happen. Still, things didn't go smoothly. Sammy said David didn't like to follow the rules. He was always trying to mess with the rules. He's not a fun guy. He doesn't play well with others. I don't know what his problem is, but he just doesn't cooperate. When asked if they both got to close one night each in Los Angeles, Sammy confirmed it. "Yeah, we each closed one night. That was fair. But even then, he was always trying to make himself look better and make others look bad. Not just me, but everyone. He's always about showing off. Despite everything, Sammy still gave David some credit. God bless him, because those early Van Halen songs were amazing. I mean it. I've tried to be friendly. I've told myself, maybe he could be fun to hang out with. But he's not like that. He's not the person you think he is when you see him on stage. He's not that guy. He's someone else when you meet him in real life. So, when Sammy Hagar posted that message on Instagram, it meant something. It wasn't just a polite comment. It showed growth, forgiveness, and respect, even after all the years of rivalry, drama, and frustration. Was this a true olive branch? A symbol of peace? Or was Sammy just tired of getting asked about David Lee Roth all the time and wanted to move on? That's a question fans are now asking each other. For many years, the Van Halen fan base has been divided. Some people love the David Lee Roth era best. The flashy clothes, high-pitched screams, and wild concerts. Others prefer the Sammy Hagar era, with its deeper lyrics and strong melodies. Both sides argue about which version of Van Halen was the real one. But maybe now, after all these years, we can finally stop arguing. Maybe we can just celebrate the music. Maybe we can thank both David Lee Roth and Sammy Hagar for keeping that music alive, each in their own way. Maybe it's time to let go of the past and focus on the songs that still make us sing along, dance, or bang our heads. One thing's for sure. Both men gave us something special. And whether they like each other or not, they're both part of rock and roll history. So what do you think? Has Sammy Hagar finally made peace with David Lee Roth? Or is he just being nice so people will stop asking him about it? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more stories like this, because the world of rock never sleeps, and neither do its legends.